I call to order the November 30th, 2020 meeting of the Springfield Board of License Commissioners at 5:31 p.m. on Zoom. All the commissioners are present, so we have a quorum and we can continue. First order of business is approval of the minutes of the hearing of November 10th. Commissioners, have you had an opportunity to review those minutes, and does anybody have any changes?
No.
No changes.
All right. I make a motion then we approve the minutes of the hearing of November 10th, 2021. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes, thank you. All right. Under continued new petitions, we have a petition for change of manager for Racing Mart at 1487 Bay Street. And the proposed manager of record is Jacinia Paradis. And I thought I saw her here.
I'm here.
There you are.
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Rook present.
I see you, Thomas. Namako, have we had any input on this proposed change of manager since the previous meeting?
Not to my knowledge, Mr. Chairman.
No, thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions?
No.
No, I make a motion, then we go into discussion and vote. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. Okay, we have a qualified candidate who is willing to take over the reins at Racing Mart on 1487 Bay Street. Does anybody have a reason why we should not approve that?
No.
No. Okay, I make a motion that we approve the petition for change of manager for Bay and Berkshire LLC, DBA Racing Mart, located at 1487 Bay Street, Jacinia Paradis, new manager of record. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Mr. Signature, yes. Congratulations, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, fellow commissioners.
Thank you very much.
Thomas. All right, next item on the agenda is a petition for a continued petition for alteration of premises for the City Line Cafe at 911 Rimmon Avenue. Namako, have we had any additional input on this proposed change since our previous meeting?
Not to my knowledge, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Commissioners, do we have any questions for the licensee or the attorney?
No.
No. I make a motion, then we go into discussion and vote. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Cade?
Yes.
Mr. Espinosa?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Siciliano?
Yes.
Mr. Signature, yes. Okay. So we have the approval of the neighborhood council and an 11 p.m. closing restriction on both patios. I see no reason not to approve this. Does anybody have any opposition?
No.
No. Okay. I make a motion then to approve the petition for alteration of premises for City Line Capital, DBA City Line Cafe, located at 911 Rimmon Avenue, to add a patio to the front and the rear of the premises with an 11 p.m. closing restriction. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. Thank you. You're all set.
Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners, I appreciate your efficiency tonight. Thank you very much.
Everybody likes to get out first.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is a new petition for a farmer series pouring permit for Rustic Brewing Company located 34 Front Street with Michael Kopiak, manager of record. And this is the license that we discussed at the previous meeting. We have a new license type now for farmer series pouring permits. And this is going to be in the Indian Orchard Mills, gentlemen, correct? You're muted.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and Michael, you are going to be the manager of record.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and do you have any experience doing this other than just at Rustic?
No, Rustic is my only experience.
Rustic is your experience. Okay, and how many hours a week are you actually open there?
Right now, we are selling only to go, and our hours are Friday 4 to 7 p.m. and Saturday 12 to 4 p.m.
Okay. And now, assuming we approve this, are you going to expand your hours or remain the same?
Yes, the hours would expand to Fridays 4 to 9, Saturdays 12 to 9, and Sundays 2 to 8 p.m.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, as a Farmer Series pouring permit, you are permitted to only serve your own product on the premises. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Just what we produce here.
All right. So that is why we established the new license type for the Farmer Series pouring permit, because you're restricted to serving your own product rather than anything available from a liquor provider. So how many employees do you have there?
Right now, we just have the two of us. We are going to be ramping up to, we will have at least, 6 people per Saturday. So there'll always be 3 tap room attendants on duty at all times for, pouring and dispensing and serving folks.
Okay. Are the two of you tip certified?
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
Okay. So we're going to want all your employees that are serving alcohol to be tip certified.
Yep.
Yes, we have that, and we cover that for them as part of their employment. We,
Okay.
when we talk to anybody about working here, we say that you have to get tip certified. You go ahead and do it, and we reimburse them for it.
Okay. And they get a certificate?
Yes.
And those certificates expire?
Yes.
So you're going to keep a file of everybody's certificate and make sure they get renewed when they're supposed to get renewed, right?
Yes.
Because if there is a over-serving violation, we're going to want to see that person's certificate and want to make sure that they are actually certified.
Yes.
Okay. And Michael, you live where?
11 Druid Hill Road, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Springfield. Okay. Now, as a manager of record of a liquor licensed establishment, you are responsible for everything that happens there, whether you are there or not. And if there is a violation, usually a over serving in a situation such as this, you are answerable to this commission. Do you understand and accept that responsibility?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so the hours are going to be 4 to 9, 12 to 9, and 2 to 8. So, and you have any plans on expanding on weekdays? This is not your full-time job though, right? You both have other jobs.
At the moment, yes, we have other jobs, and the building. But yeah, we had thought about that, and we feel like the building and the activities that go on in the mill building during the day aren't as conducive to having people here. So that's why we chose the hours that we did. If in the future, the ownership of the building decides to go to a more retail model, we might reconsider that. But for right now, where it's more of an industrial model in the building, we're using those hours to work well with everybody else in the building.
Okay. So what we try to do is establish the hours of the business that are consistent and not confusing to, say, a police officer who walks in there. So the earliest we can establish, unless you want to limit yourself to 9 p.m., is 11 p.m. So are you comfortable with a 9 p.m. closing restriction?
Yes.
All right. So I would suggest a Sunday through Saturday, noon to 9 p.m. license. And you don't have to use it every single day if you don't want to. And if you do want to open for something, say around Christmas time, you're able to do that. The commissioners, do you have any idea, any thoughts on that?
No.
That sound okay?
I agree with you in the sense where
try to keep it a routine hourly thing instead of jagged, if you want to call it, hours, a noon to 9. I think it sounds easier for any establishment, police, fire, anybody that needs to go in there knows when this establishment is to be open or not open.
Right. Okay. Good. What is your occupancy there?
We have it set for 100 people.
Okay. Do you have anything from the Indian Orchard Neighborhood Council? I can't remember if you submitted anything.
I think on the last meeting you may have had the letter. I don't know if it's still under you, but you did pull it up. We have an email, and I believe Zeta just actually wrote an email too, just to re-edify that she was approving it.
All right. Can you send that to our License Commission office and
Yes,
make sure we have it in your folder?
Yep.
Yes, we sure will. Yep.
All right. Commissioners, any questions about this?
I have one question, Mr. Chairman.
Certainly.
Just for specificity, we're talking about the product that you make. Is it only just beer, or are there other products?
No, we're only licensed with the state to produce malt alcohol, basically beer. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Any other questions?
No.
No. Okay. Well, these are bifurcated meetings like you have with the planning board. So we are going to break here, and we will continue you to December 8th for the second part of this hearing. So I will make a motion to continue this hearing to December 8th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano,
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. Thank you. We will see you December 8th.
All right. Thank
Good
you very
night.
much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Cornell, we have a petition for a new license for West Indian Delight DBA Talk of the Town located at 324 Wilbraham Road. The agenda says Worthington Street, but it's Wilbraham Road, with Keisha Williams as the manager of record. And Cornell, is that Keisha with you?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us what your plan is there, Cornell.
Well, as you know, I operate this West Indian restaurant for about 40 years on this location with no incidents to my record. So I'm planning, an expansion of the business, which would include a sit-down area as well as a takeout. Right now, I do a takeout, but I've just, recently built a dining area, which was like $150,000 worth of investment to house this, eating facility for the neighborhood.
Okay, so right up till now it was takeout only, but now you want to have a sit down and serve beer and wine with it.
Yes.
All right. And you've been there 40 years, 40?
More than that, but yeah.
Okay. And this, Cornell, this is your full-time job, yes?
Yes.
Okay, and Keisha, is this your full-time job?
No, it's not.
Okay, when will you be working there?
I work here. I'm already working here in the evenings as a manager at the takeout sections.
So how many hours a week do you work?
I get out. I work here like 5 until close at 10, or sometimes 11.
All right. Is that 7 days a week?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So like 35 to 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, how many employees will you have that are serving alcohol?
I'm gonna have 2 serving alcohol.
Okay. Keisha, are you tip certified yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay. We're going to want you and anybody who is serving alcohol to be tip certified.
Okay.
And you can get that training from whoever you're going to be buying your alcohol from, the liquor provider. All right. Okay. They have online courses that you take. And then at the end of the course, you print the certificate and showing you completed the course, and that has an expiration date. So everybody who's going to be serving alcohol is going to be tip certified, and you're going to keep a file of those certificates, okay? And as they come up, make a reminder in your phone or on the wall on the calendar, and make sure that everybody's recertified so they have a current certificate.
Okay.
So if there is a over-serving, which normally is the violation for a licensee, then we're going to want to make sure that the person who did the over-serving is tip certified, because we're requiring that, okay?
Okay.
All right. And you live where, Keisha?
I live in Enfield, Connecticut.
Enfield. All right. Now, as you heard me tell the previous licensee, you are responsible for what happens there, whether you are on duty there or not. If there is a over-serving or a disturbance on the premise, you appear before this commission. Do you understand that responsibility, and do you accept that responsibility?
Yes.
Okay. Now, hours of operation are going to be what?
11 to 10 to 11. On Fridays and Saturdays, it's at 11.
11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yes.
Good. Okay. And how many people are going to be? This isn't a big place, right? So what's the occupancy? Do you know?
40.
40?
Yeah.
40. Really?
Yeah.
40 people? Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right.
We do not expect to be seating 40 people
all at once.
all the time, but that's the capacity that they
okay. Okay. Do you have any input from the Upper Hill Neighborhood Council, a letter?
Yes, we have a letter from Adriana Osborne.
Okay.
And her group is in support of
Can you please forward that to the planning department, to Phil Jerome, and to our license commission office so that we can read it into the record?
Okay.
All right. Now, I attended the planning board meeting, as you know, and there was a neighbor who was concerned about your dumpster being too close to the fence and smelling. And I discussed that with the planning director today, and he said he's gone by there and he sees a vinyl fence enclosure, and the dumpster is still sitting by the fence. But is that where the dumpster is going to go, inside that vinyl fence?
Yes, it's going in there, but they're putting that in tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So it pays to be a good neighbor when it comes to asking for liquor licenses, as you can see. So you want to keep that back area tidy. Make sure that the dumpster remains closed and there's no litter on the ground. You don't want to give the neighbors anything to complain about.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good news. Thank you for that, taking quick action on that, actually. Commissioners, does anybody have any questions?
Got a couple of questions. Cornell, did the neighbor ever complain before you have applied for the liquor license?
No, they haven't, because I thought I was good with everybody in the area. But the neighbor who actually had the complaint is not the one who was being affected by the dumpster, because he's a couple doors down. It's his neighbor who is next to my property line. I don't know if she complained to him about that dumpster being, well, she did complain to me sometime before about the smell. And, you know, I took measures, you know, to keep that down with those pellets that they sell to, you know.
Okay.
Perfuming.
I just want to make sure if anybody ever addressed you in reference to making sure that you take care of something, that you do it, you know, almost immediately, particularly those people who abut your business.
Right, right.
And the other thing I want to ask is that you indicated that the restaurant side, you would not have takeout, it's sit-in only. But what about the takeout side?
No, I'll still operate the takeout side, but who wants to dine, that's a different option.
So they will have to go over to the restaurant side?
No, no. If they're dining, there's a separate entrance.
Okay, so you're talking about serving in two locations?
No, no, we're only going to serve in the dining side. The takeout.
Okay. Not on the takeout side.
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
No.
All right. Cornell, this is a bifurcated meeting like you had with the planning board. So we're break here, and then you're going to go to planning board on December 1st, and then you're going to come back to us on December 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And in the meantime, you're going to get that letter to Phil Dromey and to our license commission office. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I make a motion then to continue this hearing for Talk of the Town until the next meeting, which is December 8th. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Cade.
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano.
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. Thank you, Cornell, and we'll see you on the 8th.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Now we have a petition. This is why Danny is here, probably. Petition for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers, issuance and transfer of stock, new stockholder for Sarno Enterprises. And that is the X-Pub, 520 Sumner Avenue.
Yes.
And I'll move my document over here. So this is basically, not to minimize it, William Santinello is leaving the corporation as the secretary and director, and with his 50% ownership, and Janice Santinello will be replacing Billy Santinello. Is that right?
No, it's the other way around.
That's the other way around.
Yes,
Janice is leaving, Billy's coming.
Correct. Janice Santinello is selling her 50% interest and removing herself as an officer's.
Oh,
William Santinello is taking the 50% interest, putting himself on as the officers. William and Janice are husband and wife. It is just a restructuring of for their tax issues. There'd be absolutely no change whatsoever in anything outwardly to the public. It's just a change of the corporate structure internally.
okay. All right. And Jerry is staying on as the manager of record.
Jerry's staying on.
All right.
William has owned other bars that you've licensed. One of them was Fat Arthur's about 20 years ago in East Springfield. He also owns Jocko's in Chicopee. He's owned at different times. Bentley's in East Long Meadow. He's TIF certified. He's running the bars, although he doesn't have day-to-day operations of the X-Pub. Jerry Sarno does, as you know, but he'll be a part owner. His wife's been a part owner for decades.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
No.
No. Okay. This is a bifurcated meeting. So with that, I would make a motion that we continue this item until December 8th. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. We will see you on December 8th. Okay, thank you for coming. Next item on our agenda is a pre-hearing conference for Delecias Restaurant Corporation. And as you saw today by the agenda, the emails, I believe that the attorney representing is ill. So we must continue this. Namako, are we continuing this to December 8th?
For now, I would say yes.
For now.
I mean, I hear otherwise. That is if the attorney doesn't recover. That's what I mean by otherwise.
Unless he's sick again.
Yeah, and hopefully not.
Okay.
You don't want to be sick in these times.
No. All right. Okay. So I would make a motion to continue the pre-hearing conference and the final hearing to December 8th.
Thanks, Danny. I appreciate you. You look good, by the way. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you. Bye.
Somebody's still connected.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Santinello? Oh, Siciliano, sorry.
Close enough. Yes.
Yeah. Commissioner Signature, yes. Okay, so those two items are continued. Now, next item we have, not going to make Attorney Ryan wait through me reading 110 liquor licenses. So we have a request from Attorney Ryan to vote on a rehearing of the petition for Rose Entertainment at 555 Worthington Street. Attorney Ryan?
Yes, sir. Thank you, commissioners. Represent Rose Entertainment, LLC. Kristen Fiore is here. She's muted and she's not on the screen, but she is listening. She's a principal that she owns either individually or through Rose Ent LLC, the property at 555 Worthington, the old Lido's restaurant. She was before you, I believe, back in September. She wasn't represented at the time. She's a wonderful young lady. Reading what the commission did, my view was that the commission ultimately denied it as much due to unanswered questions and unanswered concerns as they did with anything else. The denial was appealed to the ABCC. There's a hearing date set for December 8th of next month, so a week away. She contacted me and I'm representing her, and it was my thought that the far easier thing to do, because it'd be the same thing we'd be asking the ABCC to do, but is really to ask the commission to exercise its discretion to allow her as the applicant to refile. If the commission would do so, then there's no need to go before the ABCC. She'd withdraw that and she would file a new petition or a new application with the board for a liquor license at the old Lido's restaurant, and, you know, go through the process again, which would include the neighborhood meetings and a whole new application. So that's really our request, is that the commission allows her to refile inside the 1 year cap or window. And then she would do so and come before you at a later date with a new petition for the property at 555 Worthington Street.
Namako, can you explain to the commission this 1 year restriction?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I can do that.
Thank you.
So what is really happening here is that according to chapter 138, section 15A, technically the licensee couldn't have applied within 1 year. What that means is that she would have to wait until after 1 year to refile an application. That is the general rule. However, that particular section grants the board the discretion to allow the applicant to refile within the 1 year. Now, I think the wisdom behind the 1 year bar is to allow the licensee to address the health and safety concerns or issues that the board may have raised or may have been the reason why the board denied. And I believe the legislators thought that 1 year is enough time to allow the licensee to address these issues. But the legislators again also conceived that it is also possible that in situations whereby the concerns or the health issues may not be all that substantial, a licensee may be able to address it as quickly as possible. And if that is the case, the law grants the board the discretion to allow such a licensee to refile. So that's where we are. So it's not the asking by the licensee through his attorney is not unreasonable. As a matter of fact, it's reasonable. If the licensee can do that and address all the concerns, the board can surely exercise that discretion and allow the licensee to refile the application.
Now, the licensee understands that this is not a given, that we may go through this whole process again, and if our questions are not satisfied, we could deny again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So this is not, by exercising that discretion, you are not giving any guarantees that the petition will be approved.
Right.
You
Exactly.
are simply saying that, you know what, you couldn't have refiled, but we are going to waive that 1 year bar and allow you to resubmit a new application by complying with all the rules and regulations and also addressing the concerns or issues that may have been the reason why we denied your application, in the first time. Yeah. So
okay.
reasonable asking?
DeMarco, theoretically, if it's not approved for the second time, what are the guidelines after that?
If it's not approved for the second time, the licensee still have the option to file an appeal with the ABCC. And again, if the licensee were to come back here again and ask for the board to, allow them to refile again, that is where the board may say that, you know what, we gave you that opportunity to do it. You did it, but you didn't satisfy our requirements. So I think you truly need the 1 year to address the concerns. So goodbye and come back 1 year later when you have fully addressed the concerns that we have raised.
Okay. Any other questions, anybody?
Yes, that time, if she gets denied again, let's say 3-4 months from now, would the year start again in 3-4 months, or is it still retro back to when she got denied the first time?
So the clock ticks or start to tick when you deny the application. So when she's appealing, she will be appealing on the last denier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That clear, John?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
And just if I could, Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
Ms. Fiore was not represented at the time. And one of the unusual things is she acquired the property before she acquired the permits, including the liquor license, which, normally the purchase would be contingent upon permits, contingent on licensing. And so here you have a unique situation where you have an individual who owns the property, but doesn't have the permits, the licenses to really conduct the business that you would foresee doing on the property. All the more reason why, we'd ask the commission to exercise its discretion to allow a refile prior to the 1 year ban.
Because now she owns the property and she's paying a mortgage on the property.
Correct.
And she can't do anything with it.
Correct.
So normally the purchase and sale of the real estate would be contingent upon the local board and the ABCC approving the liquor license, and the sale wouldn't conclude until
you have the approvals.
Both approvals, right. And I remember many years ago when the owners of the Hippodrome bought the building on Stern Square, and they did absolutely nothing with it until they got that approval from the ABCC, and then they went full bore and renovated the entire building because they knew that it would be a waste of money unless they got the approval from the ABCC. So there were many unanswered questions, and we can't require a licensee to be represented by an attorney. Usually if it's, just a small restaurant that just wants beer and wine, they can put an application together and they can do it themselves and not need an attorney. But on an undertaking of this magnitude, I feel an attorney would have, especially one familiar with liquor licensing, would have been a great help. So she's now represented by Attorney Ryan, and I will volunteer to work with Attorney Ryan and Ms. Fiore to work on that application and make sure that all of the potential questions that a neighborhood council, of which I was a president once, and the planning board and the license commission may ask before it gets even to the neighborhood council, so that there is a polished presentation ready to go without a whole lot of unanswered questions. So do we feel that Ms. Fiore should be given another opportunity to make a presentation to the board?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
is?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make a motion then to, Namako, the motion is to waive the 1-year restriction on resubmission of the application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to, that the board waive the 1-year restriction on resubmission of the application for a new license under Attorney Ryan's stewardship for Rose Entertainment, 555 Worthington Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. Okay, well, we're back at square one, and we hope we're more successful the second time.
Thank you, commissioners. I echo Attorney Rook. Your efficiency is wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Take care.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
All right. All right. Now, final job of the night and the most exciting job is approval of our licensees for 2022. And I want to give a special thank you to Nicole LeBlanc, who is a paralegal in the law department, who was assigned to the License Commission. And we were hit with a double whammy right at the start of our renewal process this year. 2 of the other License Commission office employees were out on extended health-related leaves, and one of them is back and one has still not returned. And Nicole, who had very little experience doing this, was tapped to lead the renewal team. And they brought in a few temps who worked very well with Nicole. And her service was indispensable at getting all of these renewal packages in the mail, calling in the laggards and getting them all back into the office, and all of the renewals logged in and when they were received. So there's an excellent job by Nicole LeBlanc in coordinating all this year. So we have only one license that did not renew this year, and that is International Beer Garden on Main Street by the Student Prince there. And that's been an underutilized space since it was licensed. And I guess I'm not really surprised, but if they want a new license, they are going to need to apply for a new license for 2022. And so that's that category. And so we have the other 2 categories, which are the licensees who submitted their applications for renewal and they passed the tax certification process and they are good to go for 2022. So I will read that list now. Wet my whistle here. All right. The licensees who passed the tax cert and submitted the renewals on time are 350 Grills, 711 1830 Wilbraham Road, Allen Street Package Store, Applebee's Neighborhood Bar and Grill, Aquarius, the Elks Lodge on Tiffany Street, Belmont Shell, Benton Park Package Store, Brownstone Banquet Halls, Kana and Cafe, 141 State Street, Center Stage, Chestnut Street Package Store, Christopher's Package Store, Christopher's Sports Bar, City Line Cafe, Clubhouse Cafe, which is at the golf course, Cozy Cafe, Crazy Andy's Liquors, Delecias Restaurant and Catering, Dylan's Package Store, Donovan's Irish Pub, East Springfield American Legion, Eddie's Package Store, Family Pizza Europa, Fetta's Package Store, Food Zone International, Forest Park Liquors, Forest Park Post 7352 on Veterans Way, Frank's Package Store, Fraternal Order of the Eagle, Frigo's Food Products, Frontera Grill, Fuego Sports Bar, which was the old Blarney Stone, I believe, Graham's Package Store, H&M Food and Fuel, Hamden Inn and Suites, our smallest package store in Springfield, Hemmel's Bar and Grill, Ola Restaurant, one of my favorite names, Hot Table on Main Street, Indian Orchard Pizzeria, Irish Ale House, the Italian American Citizens Club, John Boyle O'Reilly Club, J&J Package Store, Johnny Mac Liquors, Juicy Seafood, K&O Food Mart, Le Souk Hookah, Leone's Restaurant, Level 5 Restaurant, Liberty Gas, Liberty Package Store, Liquors 44, Springfield, Log Rolling, which is at the Carriage House. Malacone Restaurant. Malacone renewed. It says on the renewal list. Mesa Buffet.
I don't think Malacone can renew. I mean,
no, they're on this.
But it's all right. You go ahead.
All right, thank you, sir. Where was I? Marconi Club, Mardi Gras, Market Liquors, Maddie's Cafe, Max's Tavern, Meldrum's Package Store, Mesa Buffet, MGM Springfield Essentials in the lobby, Bob Enrico's, Nadim's, Nathan Bill's, Nosh, O'Brien's Corner, One Stop Discount Liquor and Convenience, One Stop Liquor Store, Boston Road, One Stop, a lot of one stops, One Stop Market, Boston Road, 475, Orchard Variety, Patty's Irish Pub, Panache Banquet Hall, Punjabi Tatka, Panorama Restaurant, Peacock Chinese Restaurant, Faux Saigon, Plan B Burger, Plaza Package Store, 1245 Liberty Street, Potbelly's Pub, Pretzel Pub, which was the old Naismith's on Worthington Street, Pride Convenience, 1225 Parker Street, Pride Convenience, 77 West Street, Prime Liquors, which is on Liberty Street, Pub 155 Maple Street, Quick Mart. Is that open? Pub 155? Yeah, is it open?
Not sure. Oh. Yes.
Oh, Quick Mart, Racing Mart on Bay Street, Racing Mart on Armory Street, Racing Mart Fuels on Sumner Avenue, Red Rose Pizzeria, Saga, Salsa's Gourmet Mexican, Samuel's Sports Bar. No, Samuel's doesn't have a license. What's that?
Also places there.
Yeah. They are on the renewal list. S&G Convenience Smoke Shop, Shadow Lounge, Chicago Martini and Piano Bar, Sheridan Springfield, Smith's Biller, Smoky Joe Cigar Lounge, Snooker's Billiard Club, Soc Trang Vietnamese Restaurant, Sol Carib Restaurant, Sophia's Pizza and Sports Bar, South End Package Store, Sparky's, Boston Road, Spirit Shop, Springfield Liquor Mart, Springfield Mobile, which is 1828 Boston Road, Springfield Wine Exchange, our new licensee in the Tower Square, St. George Cathedral, St. Anthony's Men's Society, Student Princeton Fort, Summit Package Store, Table and Vine, Cooley Street in Big Y, Tap In Bar and Grill, which is the other golf course, I believe, Texas Roadhouse, The Stinger at AIC, White Lion Brewing, The Zone, Theodore's, TJ's Wine and Spirits, Tokyo, Top Shelf 2, 240 Chestnut and 238 Chestnut, Tower Square Hotel, Two Guys Pizza and Grinders, Typical Sicilian, Uno Chicago Grill, 1722 Boston Road, at Uno Chicago Grill at the Hall of Fame, White Lion Brewing again, I'm not sure why they're on there twice, Winchester Liquors, Wing Madness, Win Liquors, and the X Pub. Aside from a few of those that may be on here are closed, I make a motion that these licensees be, the renewal be approved for 2022. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. Okay, the final category are those licensees who got their renewal in on time, which was 4 o'clock today, but still owe something to the city of Springfield. And some of them owe a lot, and some of them owe a tiny bill for inspection or something. So, but we received their license renewal on time, so we can approve them for renewal. They just don't get their license until these bills, all the bills are cleared. So those licensees are 99 Restaurant and Pub, Liberty Street, Barkaya, Better Life Whole Foods, Brick House Tavern, Ciro's Restaurant, Cottage Street Liquors, D&G Jamaican, Dewey's Jazz Lounge, Dickinson Deli, Elegant Affairs, Ginger Blossom, Harmony Lodge, Wilbraham Road, Irving, Mass Mutual Center, McCarthy's Tavern, Merrill's Superette, Nuria, which is the gas station on West Broad Street, Ocean State Job Lot, One Stop Discount Liquors, 494 Central. Our Mount Carmel Society Incorporated, Winthrop Street. Palette Incorporated, Rory Fitzgerald, Solmar, Tony's Pizza on Boston Road, Wong Walk Restaurant, and Worthington Discount Liquors. So these licensees did submit the renewal on time. So I will make a motion that these licensees be renewed for 2022, pending payment of any obligations to the city of Springfield. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade.
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano.
Yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. Okay, we are done with renewals for the year. Thank God. Anybody? We have new violations. I always forget that. All right. Okay. We have a violation report. Shadow Lounge. Report dated November 18th. On October 25th, 2021, officers responded to six shot spotter activations in the area of 125 Frank B. Murray Street and 125 Liberty Street. Officers located 13 total spent shell casings from the rear parking lot of 125 Liberty Street in the street in front of 125 Frank B. Murray Street to Dwight Street next to the bus station at 55 Frank B. Murray Street. This is where all the cases are, casings, all the way down Frank B. Murray Street. There was also a two vehicle accident in the middle of the street adjacent to 95 Frank B. Murray Street. One vehicle left the scene and later crashed into a pole at Dwight and Lyman Streets. Officers noted that both vehicle operators refused to speak about the accident or the shot spotter activation. This report indicates that Officer Canning and Lieutenant Collins made contact with Carlos Melendez, the manager of Shadow Lounge. At the time of the report, Mr. Melendez was unable to produce a copy of the liquor license. A review of CAD using the parameters of 1 to 3 a.m. on October 25th showed 8 calls for service associated with this accident. 6 were shot spotter activations, 1 call for shots fired, and 1 call for an accident. On November 9th, 2021, is this you? Yeah. I, Barry Delamarter, spoke to Lieutenant Collins, who responded to this incident. He advised me that officers were not aware of any issues at Shadow Lounge. Prior to this incident, the recovered shell casings were located around the corner from Shadow Lounge, about halfway down Frank B. Murray Street. I also made contact with Carlos Melendez, who also advised me that his staff was not aware of any problems inside of the Shadow Lounge. He was not aware of the shots fired until the officers arrived and asked for the license. He indicated that he located the license after the officers had already left. On November 16th, I spoke to Paul Ramesh, an owner of Shadow Lounge. He advised me that a copy of the license is on the licensed premises, and I made arrangements to stop by the establishment the following day to confirm this. On November 17th, I responded to Shadow Lounge, confirmed there was a copy of the 2021 alcohol beverage license on the premises. We are submitting this to the License Commission for the review. So the shooting had nothing to do with the Shadow Lounge. They just
possibly involved their patrons, but there was nothing inside.
Nothing inside.
That led to
no disturbance.
Correct.
Nothing. Okay. And why wasn't the license on the wall? Did they explain that?
No. But it was behind the bar when I went there. It's right behind the bar.
It's behind the bar.
On the bar, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It is there.
All right. But it's supposed to be
why
displayed.
He couldn't find it, I don't know why he couldn't find it.
Okay.
He did find it. It was after they left out, according to him.
Right. Okay. All right. So do we see any reason to call Shadow Lounge in for anything?
No.
Okay. So I will make a motion to take no action on this report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade.
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano.
Yes.
Commissioner Signatore, yes. Okay. Delicias Restaurant and Catering report dated November 16th. Was that last week? Week before. Thursday. On Saturday, November 6th, 2021, Officer Barry Delamarter responded to the area of 140, 145, 148 Girillis Drive at 8:30 p.m. and remained there till 2:10 a.m. to monitor the noise and music coming from Delicias Restaurant located at 1333 Boston Road. Peter Signatore, chairman of the Board of License Commissioners, was also present for several of these hours. Officer Delamarter reduced his observations into writing. One, during this time, almost for the entire duration, there was a constant bass sound emanating from inside of Delicias that grew louder as the evening went on. Officer Simon responded to Girillis Drive at about 12:30 a.m. and could hear the music while in the area of 145, 148 Girillis Drive, which is over 100 feet away from Delicias. Officer Simon proceeded to the front of Delicias Restaurant while Commissioner Signatore and Officer Delamarter walked from Girillis Drive to the front of Delicias Restaurant via the path on the west side of the building. While we waited for the Officer Simon, I observed a male walk out the front door of Delicias carrying a plastic cup with a beverage inside. An unknown female employee who was standing at the doorway told the male that he could not walk out with that beverage. The male continued and entered a large black SUV that was parked outside the front door. The employee took no further action to retrieve the beverage or stop the male. Officer Barry inquired about the whereabouts of Derek Crespo, manager of record, and was told he was on his way there from a wedding. Officer Simon Wine, is that his name, Wine?
Wine, that's yeah, Wine.
Simon, Wine, and Burgos were speaking with the security guard and the occupants of the black SUV. Officer Wine asked the male driver who was in possession of the plastic cup what was in the cup, and the male stated apple juice. Officers Simon, Wine, and Burgos were speaking with the security guard and the occupants of the black SUV. Officer Wine asked the male driver who was in the possession of the plastic cup what was in the cup, and the male stated apple juice. I advised Mr. Pimentel to turn, that's the owner? What's?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Whatever his name is, to turn the music down, and that if the police responded again, a city noise ordinance violation citation would be issued. Officer Delamarter then returned to Girillis Drive with Commissioner Signatore to monitor the noise and music. The music was not turned down, and they could still hear it at the same level, if not higher, than when the officers responded. Officer Delamarter then had Officers Burgos and Wine come to Girillis Drive. Both officers could also hear the music from the area of 145, 148 Girillis Drive, over 100 feet from Delicias. And they then proceeded to Delicias Restaurant to issue a city noise ordinance citation. Officer Wine and Burgos responded back to Girillis Drive. They advised me that the owner refused to identify himself or provide his identification to them when he requested it. Officer Delamarter then provided the owner's name to enable officers to cite him for city noise ordinance violation. We request that Delicias Restaurant and Catering Corporation be located at 1333 Boston Road, Derek Crespo, manager record, be charged with the following: violation of 204 CMR 2052. No licensees for the sale of beverage shall permit any disorder, disturbance, or illegality of any kind to take place in or on the licensed premise. The licensee shall be responsible whether present or not. 4 counts to wit: failure to abide by City of Springfield noise ordinance, manager of record not on scene, patron carrying alcohol beverage off the licensed premise, and employee owner refusing to identify himself to officers upon request to do so. So, do we want a pre-hearing conference on this?
Yes.
Yes. All right, I make a motion for a pre-hearing conference on this Saturday, September 6th violation. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza?
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano?
Yes.
Commissioner Signatore, yes. So we will go to pre-hearing conference on this report. And I believe that's all. Namako, did I forget anything?
Yes, you are forgetting something.
Oh, what?
You know what? Why don't we take a vote to adjourn, and then I will share with you something.
Make a motion to adjourn first. All right. Anybody else they want to ask Namako anything before we adjourn? No. I make a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade.
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Yes.
Commissioner Siciliano.
Yes.
Commissioner Signature, yes. Meeting is adjourned.